Nets blow this game?
The Nets, defensively. Now, I've tried to tell Skip Bayless, but he didn't want to hear me when I said this. So now that I have your undivided attention,
You don't.
after your team gave up 84 second-half points, 48 in the fourth quarter, 149 in regulation, Skip Bayless came in here the other day and he talked about how the Lakers had a terrible loss to the Detroit Pistons. Guess who has a worse record than the Detroit Pistons? And they beat the historically great. Now, if you look at them offensively, the Nets are averaging 122.6 offensive rating, which will be the greatest in NBA history. They average 120 defensive rating, which will be the worst in NBA history. Now, I tried to tell you the 85 points that they held Miami to was an anomaly. Oh, that's a sign of things to come. 85 against Miami, average giving up 130 against everybody else other than Miami. Wow. Now, Skip, how you get a lead and Russ just walking to the basket, laying it up, and one on 7-foot KD. Bradley Beal getting whatever he want. Kyrie, to his credit, he stepped up, said he couldn't guard a stick last night. Couldn't guard a parked car with a Uzi. Going right by him. Skip, you told me there's a guy, and everybody at home, you guys will know this name, and I want you to circle it. His name is Bruce Brown.
Yep.
He's the defensive stopper.
He is.
How the hell Bradley Beal and Russ get 78 combined points against a defensive stopper?
Do you realize who Bradley Beal is?
A defensive stopper. That's what you told me.
No, Bradley Beal is it. When he goes Bradley Beal, he is unstoppable.
Skip. So everybody see. So who is Colin
Who
Sexton?
have you been campaigning for the Lakers to acquire?
Let me ask you, can I ask you a question?
Bradley Beal.
Can I ask you a question?
Thank you.
Is Colin Sexton Bradley Beal? Because he dropped 42 on your head. Everybody's getting career highs against you, Skip. Baby. Skip, you gave up 72-point paints.
Is it my turn?
Hold on just a second, Skip. You gave up 72-point paints to a team that doesn't have a big. They just signed Alex Lynn, who was, I don't even know where he was, but he wasn't even on the roster. They signed Alex Lynn just to have some bodies. And they did this to you, Skip. I keep telling you, Skip, you have defensive issues. You're averaging giving up 125 points since the trade. Since you got Harden, your defensive guys, Taurean Prince, a wing, Jared Allen, a true rim protector, shot blocker, you gave that up. And I told you you're going to struggle. Steve Nash said it again last night. We're not going to win until we decide to play defense, and we haven't played it. Some nights your offense can get you out of harm's way, but there is no way. The end of this game, you know what it reminded me of, Skip? The Indiana Knicks game. Remember how Reggie Miller got them 11 points in like 9 seconds? They stole it. The only difference was Reggie stole the inbounds. This time, the other guy stole the inbounds, passed it to Russ, and Russ let that three fly. Yaga!
The other guy stole the inbound?
Did he not steal it?
No.
What happened to
Is
it?
it my turn finally?
Yeah, go
Is the
ahead.
show over, Jenny? I don't know.
Not yet.
Okay.
I think I need to speak a little bit.
That last three Russ hit, what
Because
happened?
this show is in dire need of perspective.
Okay, well, go ahead and give it to us.
Okay, first of all, the Washington Wizards have been COVID-racked like no other NBA team, and they're finally getting healthy coming out of that outbreak that just wrecked their team. And when you do have Russ, and you do have Bradley Beal, and you are at home, you are a threat to beat anybody on any night, any way, shape, or form. But what happened at the first of this game? Well, my first surprise was, no, James Harden. He is running away with the NBA assist lead, once held last year by LeBron James.
Right.
He led it last year, and he said, okay, that's enough of that. I got to start shooting threes. We'll get to him in just a minute here on the show. But in this case, the Wizards came out dead-headed and dead-legged as usual because there's no James Harden, and it's like, well...
You mean the Nets came out like that?
No, the Wizards did, because I think they were thinking they don't take us seriously and we shouldn't take ourselves seriously because Bradley Beal shut it down and quit on the home team in the first half last night, and they fell behind 23-9, and then it was 31-13, and I thought it was a cakewalk. If we can just see Bradley Beal. It got so bad he wouldn't even sit with the team during a timeout. There's a wide open, watch this, Bradley Beal just says, okay, I'm out. I'm out. I'm done. I've seen enough. I'm sick of this. Thank you very much.
Look at that.
Just wide open.
Bradley Beal said, is everybody going to stop Jeff Green?
Yeah. There's Bradley Beal. Oh, that was the effort. That's a lot of good.
I mean, he's a part of that. I mean, he's up there sulking, but he's a part of the reason.
Now, he's just watching them play offense, and I'll just stand out here at the three-point line, and I'll just watch. and I'll just watch over here in the corner, watch them stink it up and lose. This is in the first half of last night's game. And finally, he goes over to the bench, and he just sat there away from his team. He pulled a LeBron in game one of the finals at Oracle. Well, he did, just before overtime. And then all of a sudden, weirdly enough, they started to catch fire. Why did they catch fire? Because Russell Westbrook despises Kevin Durant for leaving him behind in Oklahoma City. And he still hasn't made any peace with that or given it up. Kevin's just fine with it because Kevin went and got his rings with the Golden State Warriors. He got 2 rings, 2 finals MVPs, and he's literally looking down, literally from 7 feet tall, looking down at little Russ saying, I don't care about you anymore. You're irrelevant to me. And Russell took this like it was an NBA Finals Game 7. And down the stretch, Russell actually said, no, I got it.
He guarded KD.
He guarded KD. I'm saying, what are you doing? KD, you got to take advantage of this. He could not take advantage because Russell Westbrook was possessed.
Yes.
Okay, so let's look at what happened at the end of this game. It still looked several times like it was way over. It still looked like, as they kept, KD made all 6 of his free throws. Kyrie made his free throws and made a big shot. They're up 5 with seconds left, and it just looked like they were completely in control. And then all of a sudden, the fateful sequence transpires. If you want, Reggie Miller memorial sequence transpires. And here goes Bradley Beal, and he's so hot, he just jacks it on the run and makes it. Now it's up to Joe Harris to throw it in bounds. And you said, well, wait a second, Garrison Matthews stole the ball?
Yeah.
He didn't steal the ball. Joe Harris lost his mind. He had made a career-high 8 threes in this game, and tell me who he's throwing it to. He thought KD was going to break to the corner, but he didn't even look. It's like it was a no-look pass, and the only man who broke to the corner was the kid from Lipscomb, who he just throws it right to him in the corner. Is KD even in the ballpark of this play? Help me out. Joe Harris, what's wrong with you? This is the game. If he makes a clean inbounds pass, the game is over. It's just over.
What KD shows him his hand, and like he's going to the corner. What's he supposed to do?
Okay, but he throws it completely into the corner to Garrison. It's like he was the intended target on this play. I've never seen it as bad. This is the worst inbounds pass under pressure I've ever seen. He throws it completely to the corner, and there's only one man out there, and he's wearing the wrong color jersey. And I said, Joe Harris, because I have respect for him, because he can really shoot.
He caught 5 last night.
He's the three-point champion a couple of years back, and he was out of his mind. He even made a couple more in the fourth quarter. If you inbounds it cleanly, the game is over, and instead he inbounds it to the kid from Lipscomb, which is in Nashville, Tennessee, and he turns and feeds Russ. Now, who is Russell Westbrook? Help me out here.
He had just missed a 3.
He had just Westbrooked a 3 so badly that I felt sorry for him. He is a career 31% three-point. 31%. He's much better this year so far, but it's early. And he just rips it as cleanly as you can rip it because he shot it possessed. He shot it right through the heart of Kevin Durant.
Last night.
He was out of his mind. So Bradley Beal scores 22 in the fourth quarter, and there are very few humans out there who can score 22 in a quarter. Obviously, Clay can. Steph can. Right. Maybe KD can when he gets going, but he's not a gunner like that. He's not a no-conscience
we just saw LeBron do it the other night.
Well, he did. He had 21. Okay.
Still, but you remember Greg Anthony did the same thing when he passed to Reggie. He tried to get it, and Reggie just got the ball, and he ran behind the three-point line.
Okay.
On this one, he thought KD was standing, and KD faked like he was going to the corner. He says, I just need to get the ball to KD. They fouled KD. KD money. He was 13-13 at the free throw line at that point.
Okay, but KD didn't even really take a step to the corner.
He faked it out.
Maybe a head fake, but it was so bad. And then he throws it into the deep corner. It wasn't like a half corner pass. He throws it to the deep corner. What are you doing? He went blind.
And I'm glad they lost because Kyrie Irving was walking his butt off, Skip. He walked. Once the official
wait a second. Before we get to that play, so here's the next key play. There's still 4 seconds left, and they're inbounding. The Nets are on their end.
Right.
And Russ is taking KD. And
he knows KD move.
And he's got a step. I think KD was going to dunk this.
Yeah, he was.
Right? And Russell snakes in, dives, and deflects it out of bounds. And it was a crucial play because it took a couple of seconds off the clock. So now they're going to inbounds, obviously. There it is. What a beautiful steal that is, because Kevin's going to dunk over whoever that is underneath. I can't really see who it is. But now we got the inbounds pass, and you can't move your feet. You can't move.
No.
It's walking. You walk. You have to stay stationary on the baseline. You cannot
Unless
move.
it's a made basket.
Yeah, okay.
It was out of bounds.
And it was almost like ball don't lie,
Right.
because TLC has got a bunny little left-handed layup and lips it out.
Hold on, wait a minute.
Lips it
Hold
out
on.
like he should
That play
have.
for Kevin Durant. What is Kevin Durant doing? That's the exact same thing LeBron James did against the Nuggets, and you ripped him. What is Kevin Durant doing?
Stop
that
it.
play is for Kevin Durant.
It is not. Do you think
Yes,
he called it?
He said after the game the play was for him. That's what he said.
Wait a second. Did one of the Lakers break wide open for a bunny layup? No, you stop it.
Hey, AD
what are you talking about?
AD broke wide open for a three.
A wide open, it was like a 40-foot three. It was a last gasp desperation inbounds by Rondo, who said, I looked LeBron James in the eye, I locked eyes with him, and he did not move. He said, I don't want any part of this. Was Kevin moving for the ball?
No,
yes.
Kevin did not move.
Oh,
He's
stop
7 foot tall, right there in front of...
Did he move on the 4.3 seconds left? Yes, he did, and he was going to dunk it.
Whoa. All I'm saying, with 2.5 seconds on the clock, he's right there. The play was called for him. He did the exact same thing. He decoyed. The guy came, got a layup, missed it. LeBron decoyed. AD got a wide open
the
three.
Lakers
That's
did
all
not
I said.
get a layup to win the
Scott.
game. I'm sorry.
That's all I said.
And again, Kyrie shuffled his feet, so it was justice that
Yeah.
TLC missed it. So I'm fine with that. But clearly, biggest picture of all, the Nets, nothing but nets. That's what we got in the NBA right now. It's nothing but nets. They were clearly looking forward to the NBA Finals preview that happens tomorrow night in Brooklyn. Guess who shows up? My Clippers. It's my Clippers against my Nuggets. It's the NBA Finals preview because all of a sudden my Clippers have the best record in basketball.
They play well.
All of a sudden my Clippers are leading the league in three-point shooting and in free throw shooting. Wow, who knew? And so we get to see James Harden. He had a quote-unquote thigh contusion last night. He was just resting, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
They've been resting Kevin here and Kyrie there. And Kyrie
Well, they should rest KD with Achilles injury.
I got it.
And they played him a couple of games. He's played 50 minutes. He's played in the 40s. So he should take a game off here and there.
Okay, so obviously James Harden will play, Kevin will play, Kyrie will play, and we'll see what happens with Kawhi and Paul George and a team that is really moving the basketball in ways they didn't move it last year under Doc Rivers. Ty Lue should be the early front runner for Coach of the Year. He is turning around the
I like
Clippers.
Quinn Snyder. But Skip, even if you had won these games, all you're doing is when you win these games 140 to 137, all it does is mask a larger problem that's brewing. Now, Steve Nash, but Skip, when has Mike D'Antoni team ever played defense? When is this offense, this semblance of this offense, when has it ever been good at defense? They always try to outscore you, and then come playoff time, you see what happens. This is what.
If James Harden had played last night, they would have scored 107.
And they probably would, and they would have gave up 172.
No, they would not have. They would have won by 20.
If you look at take the last two threes away, the one by Bradley Beal that got him close, and the one by Russ. Everything else, Russ got going to the basket. Everything else, Bradley Beal got going to the basket.
If you take those two away, the Nets are going to win by 6 or 8 points.
No, but I'm saying, Skip, the reason why they were able to stay close is they were going to the baskets. They weren't taking tough contested shots.
Looking ahead to the Clippers. That's what was
So
happening
can I ask you a
last night.
question?
Looking ahead.
Why does everybody get to look ahead except the Lakers? You didn't say that about the Lakers. They were looking ahead to Boston. That's not what you did. You said that LeBron James did yada, 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 yada.
Well, you know what yada, yada was? LeBron played 10 fourth-quarter minutes at Detroit and scored 0 points.
And they lost.
What?
Kevin Durant played all the minutes, scored 100 points, and they lost. So what difference does it make?
It makes a big difference.
How? You lost.
LeBron's supposed to be Mr. Fourth Quarter, and I'm not seeing it.
And
He had one outbreak.
And what about
one outburst? He had one because he got mad at the former executive.
Do you remember the Bucks?
Cavaliers.
Do you remember the 13-2-2 stat line we had against the Bucks and Giannis?
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
I remember that he went from the 7:21 mark all the way down to the 1:04 mark of that game without making a shot.
Hey, we got him to lead, and he saw it slipping away. He says, I got it from here. Okay. I'll take it from here. Skip, you ever been on, I don't know if you ever driven. Have you ever driven cross country with somebody? I mean, you team up. He's like, I got it. Hey.
I've driven cross country by myself.
Okay, you crazy.
Several times. Well, I had to change jobs.
Oh, They don't have flights? Did they have planes back then?
Well, I got to take all my stuff, you know? I'm going.
They got moving companies.
I drove from Miami to Los Angeles. How about that? Try that drive.
You must have bumped your head.
That's a long ways, man.
You bumped your head. In a moving van, too.
Nope.
Did they have moving companies back then? You could have had somebody to move you?
Are you a music
cheat.
guy?
That's what I found out about you, Skip, and you cheat.
Cub reporter.
You cheat.
I was making nothing.
You cheat.
Yeah, Shannon.
I had no money.
Cheat.
I didn't come from money.
He's
TLC said creep. I'm saying cheap.
You got me on that.
Okay.
I was really cheap.
Exactly.